For this practice, you will need a bolster, a chair, and 2 blocks. So we're going to be honoring all prenatal considerations for this practice today. It's as if we're all pregnant, even though many of us who set out to teach prenatal yoga are not pregnant. We want to experience this from the prenatal perspective. So if you would, please bring the chair down by the foot edge of the mat. And let's begin by stacking the bolster on the blocks and creating a little ramp. So sometimes people like to have one block on the highest level and one kind of on a medium level in at an angle. You can bring the blocks down on top of each other and literally just stack them up. Or you can make a ramp, but you want to keep the bolster a little lifted. If you don't have a bolster, you can also use a pillow here. During pregnancy, we never want to lie flat on the back. So when we come into these supine postures, we always use the support of a bolster. Lying flat on the back can put the weight of the uterus on the spine and back muscles. And in the second and third trimesters, lying on the back can compress a major blood vessel that's responsible for taking blood to the uterus, and that can cause dizziness and reduce blood flow to baby. So we always use a bolster here to keep things safe. So take a moment and get yourself set up nice. And if it feels good, you can close the eyes and just begin to breathe. The knees can stay bent with the feet grounded to the mat if that feels okay for you. If you would rather, bring a blanket, a rolled blanket under the knees, the thighs, or take another leg variation. Please listen to your own body. And today we're going to gently open the heart. And from this place, put your attention right around the center of your heart, your chest. And as you bring your attention there, you might notice the breath rising in this space. You may even become aware of the subtle rising and falling of the chest with the breath. So as you tune into your breath and this special organ that has the biggest magnetic field, internally and silently repeat to yourself, today I fill my cup. Today I fill my cup. Ralph Waldo Emerson said that what lies behind us and what lies before us are tiny matters compared to what lies within us. And so today we focus on that which lies within. As we embark on this teacher training journey together, it's important to remember that you cannot pour from an empty cup. And with that in mind, today we will gently open the front body, the shoulders, the space of the heart to receive. Imagine that all you need is pouring into your open heart and your cup is being filled. Today I fill my cup. And as you continue with this mantra, begin to establish the sound of Ujjayi along the back of the throat as we prepare to move through a dynamic flow to open the heart and receive. From here, take a deep inhale through the nose. Open the mouth and let it go. Slowly drop the knees over towards the right side and very slowly and carefully roll off of the bolster. Let the left arm come over to support you as you press your way up and move the bolster the blocks over to the sides. You want to move slowly and mindfully throughout prenatal yoga, not causing any dizziness. And from here, let's come into child's pose. So today, the big toes will come together and the knees are going to splay out wide. Make space for the belly, space for baby. You might bring the hands under the forehead as a pillow or pop a block underneath the forehead if that feels best. If the forehead is coming down to the mat and you feel supported, there's no need for additional support there. And then press the hips back to your own degree as you lower down towards the seat. And you might extend the arms out wide. You may bring a block under the sit bones to help you feel supported. But please know that there is nothing magical about the tail reaching the heels in this posture. Child's pose is a hip opener and a forward fold, the perfect counter pose for that heart opener that we were just in. And after first opening the front of the heart, we now open the back of the heart space. Breathe right into that space between the shoulders as you continue to repeat your mantra, "Today I fill my cup." Rise up on all fours on the next inhale, pressing any props out of the way. With wrists under shoulders and knees under hips, the tops of the feet are flat to the mat. Feel free to bring a blanket underneath the knees or the tops of the feet. And know that you can also do this from a seated position if being on the knees isn't right for you today. On an inhale, drop the belly, arch the back a little, and turn the gaze up. And then as you exhale, round the spine, round the shoulders, tuck the chin in towards the chest, and hug baby in. Again, inhale as you slide into your back bend, mild back bend. And on the exhale, the belly melts, pulling the chest up and in as you curl in on yourself. And continue with these cat-cows at your own pace with your own breath. Moving slowly. We don't want to get the temperature up too high in the body during prenatal yoga. So to avoid that, we're moving slowly and mindfully. And as you're gliding through your cat-cows, you're getting spinal extension, spinal flexion, stretching the front and back of the spine. And after your next round, let's find a neutral spine. Take a breath here. And we're gonna transition into some funky cat-cows. We're gonna stretch the sides of the spine. So as you inhale, draw the right shoulder towards the right hip, lengthening through the left side body. Exhale to release through center. On the next inhale, draw the left shoulder towards the left hip and breathe into the right side body. And then continue with these at your own pace with your own breath. Stretching the sides of the spine now, opening up through our side body. Even yourself out here, and eventually we all meet back in a neutral tabletop. And now we're going to begin to take some over-the-shoulder cat-cows, a very, very gentle twist. We never want to twist deeply during pregnancy. Inhale through center as you drop the belly a bit. On the exhale, round slightly and glance out over the right shoulder. Inhale back through center, belly melts down, gaze lifts. Exhale, round a bit, curling in on yourself slightly as you glance out over the left shoulder. And keep moving with these over-the-shoulder cat-cows at your own pace with your own breath. Very gentle spinal rotation. We like to stretch the spine in all 6 directions to open the lungs up for their full capacity before we begin practice. So even yourself out, come back to neutral. And then let's all drop back to sit on the heels for a moment. Start to walk the hands back behind you, fingertips pointing back behind you. Pause here and notice if you might need a blanket under the knees, under the tops of the feet. If it feels like it's too much pressure to bend so deeply in the knee joint, you can always bring a blanket behind the knee in that crease. And once you've determined that you're comfortable to proceed, we're going to line the wrists up right underneath the shoulders as we begin to press into the floor to lift the chest, and then roll the shoulder blades together, opening through the front body. This is a great shape to make some space for baby. And then we spread across the collarbones, opening the heart, the chest. Sun worshiper. Few breaths here as that heart space opens to receive. And then walk the hands back in, come back into tabletop. On an inhale, lift the heart, lift the tail, and then exhale back to downward facing dog. So for prenatal yoga, our downward facing dog takes a wider stance. So the feet come about the width of the mat. Maybe the hands come up on blocks if that feels good. You can also bring the hands on the chair from here. And your gaze is up and out towards the top of the mat. Spread the fingers wide. Roll the shoulders away from the sides of the head and keep the back open and expansive. One more breath here as you press the hips up and back. On an exhale, gently bend the knees and very slowly walk the feet towards the top of the mat. Glance out halfway as you lead with your heart on an inhale. On the exhale, forward fold, but keep the gaze towards the top of the mat so we don't go as deeply as we might otherwise, staying safe during pregnancy. Inhale, press through your feet and circle the arms all the way to the sky as you rise to stand. And on the exhale, pull the hands to the heart and then gently drop the arms down by the sides. On an inhale, reach the right arm out to the side. And then as you exhale, cross the right arm over the body and back down by the side. Inhale, the left arm goes straight up to the sky. And as you exhale, cross it over and down back by the left side. Inhale, both arms circle up. Exhale, forward fold. Melt down towards the toes. Keep the gaze towards the top of the mat. Inhale, glance out halfway, collarbones wide. Exhale, plant the hands and drop the knees down into table. On an inhale, cow pose, drop the belly, arch the back, turn the gaze up. Exhale back, child's pose, knees very wide, hips back, and arms extending out ahead. Know that child's pose is always here for you in your practice. You can come into child's pose at any point. On an inhale, come back to table. And then exhale back, downward facing dog, feet the width of the mat, hands maybe on blocks or a chair. Gaze out beyond the hands. Inhale as you press the hips back. And then on an exhale, bend the knees and super slowly step the feet up to meet the hands. Inhale, glance out and lengthen. Exhale, forward fold, keeping the gaze towards the top of the mat. so as not to get dizzy. Inhale, circle the arms up towards the sky, and this time as you exhale, hook the right elbow underneath the left, eagle arms. Inhale, lift your elbows up, and then exhale, drop the arms down by the sides. Inhale, both arms up towards the sky. Exhale, left elbow hooks under the right. Inhale, lift the elbows up. Exhale, drop the arms back down. Both arms circle up on an inhale. And then as you exhale, forward fold, melt down towards the toes, keeping the gaze out towards the top of the mat. Inhale, glance out halfway, collarbones wide. Exhale, plant the hands and drop into table. On an inhale, cow pose, belly melts, lift the tail, lift the gaze. Exhale back to child's pose. Knees wide, hips back, and the arms extend out ahead. On an inhale, come back to table, and then exhale back into your downward facing dog, keeping the feet about the distance of the mat as you gaze out towards and past the hands. And we have one more to go, still chugging along as we keep filling our cups. Take an inhale here as you press the hips back. And on the exhale, super slowly walk the feet forward towards the top of the mat. On an inhale, lengthen the spine, the back, look out halfway. Exhale, fold a bit, keeping space for baby. Drop the head slightly, but keep the gaze towards the top of the mat. As you inhale, we rise and circle the arms up to the sky. Allow the hands to clasp and interlace, all but the index fingers. And as you exhale, lean up and over to the right, a gentle side stretch. Inhale, grow back up through the middle. And exhale, up and over to the left, filling your cup. Inhale, back up to the center. Exhale, forward fold, dive down, keeping the gaze in a place that is safe towards the top of the mat. On an inhale, lift halfway and lengthen. And as you exhale, plant the hands, lower the knees down into tabletop. Inhale for cow pose as you drop the belly, arch the back a little, turn the gaze up. Exhale back for child's pose, knees wide, seat reaches back towards the heels, but maybe not on them. And then on an inhale, we come back to tabletop. And on the exhale, we shift back to downward facing dog, feet the width of the mat, maybe hands on blocks, gaze out towards the hands. Pause here in downward dog and take a deep breath in through the nose. And then stick the tongue out, lion's breath, let it go. 2 more. Inhale deep, tongue out. Exhale. Last time. Inhale through the nose, nice and deep. Tongue out, lion's breath. As you inhale forward with the wrists over the shoulders, drop the knees down into tabletop. On the next inhale, lift the left leg up, parallel to the mat, and then send the right arm forward so that the bicep is by the ear. Now, if for any reason this causes unsteadiness, you could keep the right hand planted and stay here with the left leg lifted throughout the remainder of this series. You can even come to stand against the wall if this would be better for you. So from here, hug the right hip in towards the midline and keep turning the outer left hip down. And know that today it might be best to stay exactly where you are. If you feel unbalanced, unsteady in any way, you should stay right here. If it's right for you today, then keep what you have and start to reach back with the right hand as you bend the left knee and see if you might catch the left foot with the right hand. Know that whether or not you catch the foot is not important. No big deal. You can keep the right arm reaching back towards the foot, or maybe the right hand grabs onto a piece of clothing. As you roll the right side of the chest open, Keep pointing the left knee straight back. Take one more inhale as you press out of your left hand. And then on the exhale, the left leg goes straight back, the right arm straight forward. Pause here and imagine you could slightly lift the baby up. Take a big inhale here and then return to tabletop as you exhale. Inhale into cow pose, drop the belly, arch the back, turn the gaze up. Exhale back into a wide leg child's pose. Inhale forward into table. And then exhale back, downward facing dog. Feet a little wide, about the distance of the mat. Take a big old inhale here, and as you exhale, step the right leg through between the hands. Put a bend in the right knee. And for prenatal yoga, we're going to bring the right foot over to the right, a little more than we might usually. So we want a wide stance. Come up high on the back left toes. Use the blocks for support if it feels like the right thing to do. And when you're ready, rise up for high lunge on an inhale. As you circle the arms up to the sky, keep the pelvis lifted, the ribs are knitting together to support yourself. Reach a bit higher on an inhale. And then on the exhale, pull the hands in towards the heart. As you inhale, expand and cactus the elbows, rolling the shoulders back and filling your cup. Exhale, pull the hands back together at heart center. Inhale, reach the arms back up to the sky. And on your exhale, spin the back foot flat and open up into warrior two. So take a moment to tune into yourself, knowing that you're doing a good thing, giving yourself this practice and filling your own cup. See if you might sit a little deeper into the pose as you reflect on the importance of practice. And then on an inhale, flip the front palm to the sky and lean back, reverse your warrior. Right arm up and over, and the left arm maybe rests on the left thigh or maybe wraps behind. Choose what feels right for you as you enjoy a nice side body opening. Keep the right knee tracking to the right as you continue filling your cup. And keep what you have here. And then on an inhale, straighten the right leg, coming into reverse triangle. Reach your right arm a little more back as you lift the right hip. On your next inhale, come back through the center, shoulders stacking over the hips with the front leg still straight. Reach the right arm forward and press the right thigh back as you come into triangle. So the right hand can come down towards the chair, a block, the right ankle or the right shin. Roll the heart and the chest open and let the legs be strong to support you as they squeeze in. Keep what you've got and turn the left hand to face behind you. Drop it behind your back. Roll the left shoulder away from your left ear. And as you wrap your left shoulder down your back, keep breathing and feel the breath pulsing into the chest with the heart open. Turn the gaze down towards the right foot and begin to put a bend in the right knee. Take a goodbye breath here and reach your right hand onto the chair or a block under your right shoulder as you begin to shift your weight forward and step up into Ardha Chandrasana, half moon pose on an inhale. As your left leg floats parallel to the mat, the right toes point ahead and you might place a block underneath the right hand. You might send the left arm up towards the sky, coming into a full half moon pose. Pause here to start to bend the left knee. Turn the left hand to face behind you and see if the foot might be there for the hand to catch. Totally an option. And if you happen to catch it, roll the left hip on top of the right and imagine you could kick your foot into your hand and keep your left thigh strong to support you. As you open the heart, the chest, expand and receive, filling your cup and taking a deep breath in. If you've got the foot, release it. Take one more inhale here. Reach the left leg back, left arm up to the sky. Take a goodbye breath here in half moon and begin to bend the right knee as you lower the left foot to the earth safely. And then we step back into warrior two on an exhale, right foot forward, left foot back. Take an inhale as you lean back and reverse your warrior. Exhale, cartwheel the hands down and step back into table. Take a breath or two here to neutralize. On an inhale, drop the belly, arch the back, and lift the gaze. Exhale, shift back for a wide leg child's pose. Take a few breaths here, making lots of space for the baby. Knees come wide. Finally, inhale back to table, and then shift back on your exhale to downward facing dog. Feet the width of the mat, gaze out towards the top of the mat. Pause in downward facing dog and know that if child's pose might be better, it's always here for you. Take a deep breath in through the nose. As if you could release all the fears, the worries, the insecurities. On an exhale, flutter your lips. 2 more of those. Inhale, breathe in through the nose. Exhale, flutter the lips. Last time, inhale through the nose. Exhale, flutter the lips. On an inhale, come forward into tabletop. Pause here on your exhale. And on the next inhale, float the right leg up and off the mat and sweep the left arm forward, bicep by the ear. So stabilize the core as much as possible, stabilize the spine, and know that if it would be best to keep the left hand grounded, that's always an option. Take an inhale here and know that you can stay right where you are if that's best today. If you'd like, you can start to bend the right knee as you exhale and then reach back with the left hand and see if your foot is there to catch. Whether you catch the foot or not, keep the left hand reaching back, maybe grab onto the pant leg. Know that the body is not symmetrical and that this side could be very different. One more inhale as you kick the right foot back. Exhale, right leg straight back, left arm straight forward. Lift everything one more time on an inhale. And as you exhale, place it all back down into table. Inhale into your cow pose. Drop the belly, arch the back, lift the gaze. Exhale, shift back into a wide leg child's pose. Lots of space for baby. Inhale forward into tabletop. And then exhale back, downward facing dog. Feet a little wide, about the distance of the mat. Take an inhale as you press the hips back. And on your exhale, step the left foot between the hands. And you want the left foot to be a little more to the left than you might think it should be, so that we're on really wide train tracks here. Come up high on the back right toes, keeping that left knee bent. You can use blocks here to support you if that's best. And on an inhale, we rise into high lunge and circle the arms up to the sky. So as the fingertips lift up, keep pressing the back of the right thigh towards the sky as you sit into the left leg. Don't sink too deep. The breath is open and ready to receive as you continue to fill your cup. Take an inhale to lengthen. Exhale, hands come to the heart. On an inhale, cactus the arms and release as you expand out to the sides. Exhale, hands back to heart center. Inhale, reach the arms up one last time. And then exhale, we open up into warrior two pose. So spin the back right heel flat. Left arm is forward, right arm is back. As the arms spread wide, expanding from the heart, send the energy out through your fingertips, collarbone spread wide. Take one last inhale here in warrior two, and then reverse your warrior, left arm up and over as the right hand finds its place on the outside of the right leg, or maybe wraps behind the back. Breathe into the left side body. Keep what you have, and on the next inhale, reverse your triangle by straightening the left leg. So reach the left arm up a bit more. Give yourself one more inhale here. And as you exhale, come back through center, shoulders stacking over the hips. Arms spread wide as you reach the left arm forward and the left thigh back, coming into triangle pose. So your left hand can come onto the chair or block, the left shin or ankle. Take the support you need as you fill your cup. And as you stack the shoulders on top of one another, hug the baby in and keep rolling the right chest, right shoulder open as you turn the right hand to face behind you and drop the right hand behind the back, rolling the right shoulder away from the right ear. See if you can soften anywhere as you take a big breath in. And release the right arm back up to the sky. Turn the gaze down on the exhale and put a slight bend in the left knee as you shift forward into Ardha Chandrasana, half moon pose. So the right leg floats up as the right shoulder stays down the back. The left hand is on the chair or block underneath the left shoulder. And once you feel strong here, with the right arm lifting up to the sky, send some energy through the fingertips. Maybe you stay here, or maybe you begin to bend the right leg and reach back with the right hand to see if the foot might be there to clasp. If you happen to catch the foot, press the foot into the hand. And if you don't catch the foot, it's no worries. Take a big inhale wherever you are, and then release. Let the right arm extend back up to the sky. Right leg kicks back out behind you. Take a goodbye breath here as you put a bend in the left knee, and then drop the right foot to the ground and slowly step back into Warrior Two. On an inhale, reverse your warrior. And as you exhale, cartwheel the hands down to the mat. Come back into table. Inhale, drop the belly. Arch the back, lift the gaze. Exhale, shift back for a wide leg child's pose. Take a breath or two here. Making lots of space for the baby. Let the knees be really wide. And finally, inhale back to table. And then shift back to downward facing dog. Feet the width of the mat. Gaze towards the top of the mat. Hands could be on blocks. From here, let's drop the knees down to the mat to come into a kneeling position. Setting up for prenatal camel pose. So you might choose to place a blanket underneath the shins, or you might want to pad the knees. It could feel good to roll a blanket and bring it underneath the ankles here. Wherever you need support, give that to yourself. And today we're going to tuck our toes. And pause here for a moment to notice that the hips are stacked over the knees and the shoulders are stacked over the hips. The knees are about hips width apart, no closer, no further. And on an inhale, we roll the shoulders back and bring both hands to the low back. Fingertips can point up or down. Take an inhale to lengthen. And as you exhale, gently roll the shoulders onto the back. Elbows may point a little back. Keep the chest lifted and collarbones rolling open. Let the neck be long and imagine that you're pouring into your heart right here, right now, filling your own cup. Inhale whatever it is that you need, trusting your inner wisdom to know exactly what that is. Careful not to go too far. One more breath here. And slowly begin to rise back to a neutral spine. Maybe take a couple of shoulder rolls here, whatever you need. And then begin to spread the knees wide and sit back toward the heels, maybe on a block. Make plenty of space for baby and come down into child's pose, maybe resting the head on a block or on the hands. Close the eyes and take what you need in this moment. Cecilia Tran said that self-care is giving yourself permission to pause. And if you might, pause right here in this space and take what it is that you need to fill your cup. With a full cup, you're able to pour from a place of abundance, not only pouring out for others, but also for yourself. Slowly on an inhale, press up into tabletop. Crawl the knees towards the hands, cross the ankles, and roll back onto the sit bones. Then bring the legs out a little wide in front of you, feet flat on the mat, knees pointing up. Bring the hands behind you for support and make plenty of space here for baby. On an inhale, bring the outside of the right ankle to the top of the left knee, left thigh, setting up for prenatal pigeon. So you can walk the left foot in as much as you need to so that you feel a bit of an opening in the right hip. And then press the right knee open. Feel free to close the eyes here if that feels good. And just breathe. During the second trimester of pregnancy, the body begins to produce more of the hormone relaxin, which loosens the ligaments to prepare the body for birth. So with more relaxin being produced in pregnancy, the joints are more supple and flexible than usual. So we want to look out for overstretching during pregnancy and try to focus more on stability than flexibility. For this reason, don't feel that you need to stretch to your max capacity in this posture. Take what you need and nothing more. One more breath here. And then slowly lower the right foot back down to the earth. Maybe windshield wiper the knees a bit. And when you're ready, we'll get the same thing on the second side. So lift the left leg on an inhale and bring the outer left ankle to the top of the left knee, left thigh. Know that the right leg can be extended out as much as it makes sense for you, or you can walk the right foot in if you've got space to do it. Flex the left knee and breathe into the left hip. The eyes may close and try to soften anything that you're not using here. Pigeon is a space to release and let go anything that you don't need. Imagine, if you could, that you're releasing a bit more with each exhale. And when you're ready, release the left foot back down to the earth. Windshield wiper the knees a bit as we set up for Shavasana. In prenatal yoga, we don't take a traditional Shavasana lying on the back. You can take a seated relaxation, maybe leaning against the wall. You can bring a bolster underneath the back to lift the heart, just as we did at the beginning of class. You can even take a side-lying Shavasana if that's best. Wherever you are, please use all the blankets and props that you need to feel fully supported. If you're cold, you can cover up. And once you get settled in, just relax and begin to breathe deeply in a way that is natural. Gautama Buddha said, a man should first direct himself in the way he should go. Only then should he instruct others. By giving yourself this practice, filling your own cup, you now have a space to pour from. Stay here as long as you can, absorbing the benefits of your practice today. I thank you for sharing this practice with me. Namaste.